So this morning I was looking at my magic bookshelf here behind us, and it's filled with books about Tantra, Buddhism, spirituality, Kundalini, yoga, whole shebang. And the question went through my mind, why are you so fascinated with Tantra? Why is this something I've been studying, practicing, teaching for decades? Like, what is it about this Tantra that's so interesting? And the answer that came was because it opens a portal to the magical part of being human. And I don't mean magic like spells, I mean the infinite part of being here. In many ways, we've sort of been trained that we're just really like, I don't know, apes who stood up, crossed with robots that work hard and all that. And I'm all into the working hard and responsibilities and all that. Like, I'm okay with all that. But there's more. And the beautiful thing about Tantra is that when we practice this, when we change how we see the world, we can experience that other aspect, that infinite aspect, that magical aspect, driving the car, eating food, making love, having a conversation. And this is why very often Tantra will be used as an adjective. For example, tantric intimacy. Well, it isn't that sex and Tantra are the same thing or that Tantra is about sex. But you can have intimacy sort of as an animal or as a being that loves to be close to another and loves to have pleasure, the pleasure of procreation. Whether you procreate or not, the pleasure is still pleasurable. But what if it was tantric? What if intimacy was something that you could do that opened up this magical part of life, the spiritual part of life, the other aspect that we all are as humans, that we aren't just these physical bodies, that we are so much more. And what if intimacy could help us feel that, have that experience? Tantric living, what does that mean? Well, what if every relationship, every interaction you had with another person could expand us into another way of being? Like, for example, I have two children. At the time of this recording, they are 28 and 30. When I wrote Tantric Intimacy, my daughter was about 17, and I asked her if she would proofread it. And she said, Mom, I'm not distant enough from this. Like, this is my whole life. This is all I've ever known. You really need to find someone to proofread it who is brand new to this. And I found that such an interesting thing for her to say, that being tantric was just all she'd ever lived. And for all intents and purposes, she lived a very normal life. We didn't live in ashrams or intentional communities or anything that from the outside would look very spiritual. She was raised on a dairy farm, working with the animals, driving tractors, milking cows, going to school, having friends, having fights with her brother. She lived quite what we might call a very normal life. But inside of that, we would sit when things were hard and have deep conversations about things, even when she was very small. And not because, I don't know, we're all enlightened or something weird like that. Mostly it was out of crisis because when she was 2 and her brother was 4, I was very sick. And I had lumps growing in my breasts. My mom had just died of breast cancer. Her mom died of cancer. And that's when I met my first teacher who helped me heal from that legacy. And I ended up having a miraculous healing, which is all written in my book, What If You Could Skip the Cancer? But what it did is it changed how I saw the world. That journey of healing asked me to rely on prayer and not religious church prayer, but more like the prayer of a mystic, where when there's something amuck, you close your eyes and you ask for guidance. What am I meant to do next? What is the path here? And because that became my path during my journey of healing and a million dark nights of the soul, that also became how I raised my children. Even when they were very small, all the way through their teenage years, now into their 20s and 30s, if something's amuck, we just sit down and really look at it. What's really going on? Not with the eyes of anger or blame or anything like that, but we just ask each other, the universe, God, however you understand it, what's really going on here? What is the true path forward? And what happens is an answer comes that we wouldn't have found in that highly emotional state, in the blaming state, in the judgment state. Something else comes through, an answer comes, we do that answer, and everything changes. And then you start having great faith in that process. Great faith that no matter how confusing this may be, no matter how hurt I may be, we're bigger than that. We really are these divine beings. And if we access that, greater solutions will come than we ever could have imagined with our brain. So this was what you may call tantric living, where you actually know that you are divine, right? But it isn't just knowing it, it's living it. And it's when in the tough times, you look within, you ask for help, you follow guidance, you take action, and the world starts to change around you. There's nothing to believe in. It's your only experience. So this is why I love Tantra. This is why I love reading all the different aspects of Tantric schooling, whether it's the school of Shakti or Shiva or Kashmir Shaivism. It doesn't even matter. They're all pointing to the same thing: how to experience that infinite aspect of who we are in our day-to-day lives, in our relationships, in our own happiness, our own path, and in intimacy, or in horseback riding, or in swimming, or anything else that you love to do. And if you'd love to explore more, definitely check out my website, KATRINABOS.CA, and it will take you into all the different facets that you may be seeking to expand in. I hope you have a wonderful day.